Welcome to the Root Cause Revolution podcast with functional and integrative nurse nutritionist and energy medicine practitioner, Audrey Christie.
Hey friends, welcome back to episode 240. If this is your first time listening, welcome. I'm Audrey and I help women heal, whether it's getting rid of those symptoms that just won't go away, rebalancing the body from a long-term chronic illness, or losing weight that you can't seem to get off. I will help you uncover your root causes and heal for good. So today we're talking about 7 ways to reduce inflammation effortlessly. And, I'm sure you're like, ooh, effortlessly, right? That makes those ears stand up. And while I don't mean you won't have to do anything, I do mean just some easy things that you can do, some easy swaps you can make, some easy, small, tiny habits you can start to help pushing your body towards reducing inflammation on its own. Right. And I get it. I cringe when people say something's effortless, right? But as someone who's been there, done that, I can truly say that there are some effortless ways to reduce inflammation in your body. And most of them come with bonus benefits for your health and wellness. So let's just dive a little bit into what is inflammation. Inflammation gets a bad reputation. There are actually 2 types of inflammation. There's the chronic inflammation. That's the bad stuff, right? And then there's the acute inflammation. In simple terms, inflammation is the body's first line of defense against something it doesn't like, it doesn't know, and it doesn't trust. So if it's acute inflammation, this is the type of inflammation that's responsible for healing a cut on your body, for example. It's why I recommend avoiding using anti-inflammatory medications right after injury or surgery. And I'm not saying you should suffer in pain, but you also shouldn't stop your body's ability to heal by reducing the inflammation, right? So when you have an injury, the first thing that happens is inflammation starts a cascade of various systems, in your body that your body uses to heal, regenerate, and repair the tissues. On the flip side of that, chronic inflammation is when your immune system finds something it doesn't know, like, or trust and begins to turn itself on to fight it off, right? And because your body doesn't know if that thing should be trustworthy and you don't know what you're putting in there to cause it, your immune system gets stuck in the on position, in the fight position, okay? And we know that inflammation can contribute to all sorts of things. And we also know, if you've been listening to the Root Cause Revolution podcast through I think we're on season 6 now, 6 seasons, that inflammation is not a root cause. And you'll have to go back and listen to that episode. So now that you have a little bit of information, a little bit of background information on inflammation, let's talk about 7 ways that you can reduce inflammation effortlessly. The first way is to lose weight. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, you said effortlessly, and the first thing you told me to do was lose weight, right? But seriously, the method that I teach for weight loss is effortless, right? And it does so much more than teach you to lose weight effortlessly. It teaches you to get in touch with your body and to understand your food, feelings, and emotions in order to understand what fuel your body is actually requiring. There's no tracking food or counting calories or any of that stuff, right? And then, of course, part of that is moving your body, and I don't mean killing yourself on the treadmill or, lifting weights so hard you can't even sit down on the toilet after, but just moving your body. Exercise is by nature inflammation reducing, and it boosts all the good endorphins that continue to reduce your inflammation long after you move your body. Okay. So the moral of this is of this first kind of shocker, number 1, is to get in touch with your body, start to recognize your food feelings, right? When you're hungry, when you're not, why you're actually eating, and then just start moving your body. Just go on a walk once a day for 5 minutes if that's all you have time for, or 10 minutes if that's all you have time for. You don't need fancy shoes or fancy workout clothes or any of that stuff. Just go for a stroll after dinner. There's an old Ayurvedic proverb that says that the man who, and I'm paraphrasing here, but the man who walks 100 steps after dinner every night is the man who lives 100 years. And that's because moving your body has such a beautiful impact on all of your symptoms and systems, including reducing inflammation. The second thing, number 2 on the list of 7, is earthing. And you may have heard me harp on this before, but earthing or grounding is super important. So getting outside barefoot in nature. This will work if you just walk outside and take some deep breaths. If you've ever seen on a TV show when somebody gets super mad and irritated and they're like, I have to go outside and get some air. There's a reason for that, right? It's because when you go outside and get some air, you're actually grounding your energy. Now, you can amplify earthing by layering more energies in there so that the anti-inflammatory effect is amplified. And the way you do this is to go outside barefoot, right? Studies show that this reduces pain and inflammation by at least 80% when you do it regularly, when you spend time outside barefoot regularly. Now, I hear many people say, I can't go outside because it's not convenient, or I can't go outside because it's not safe. I can't go barefoot, right? If so, I would suggest a couple of things. Number 1, get curious about why you can't go outside. What's the real danger? What else is possible, right? And if you still can't go outside barefoot, then find yourself a tree or find yourself some grass. And you can put your hand on the tree or put your hand in the grass to ground yourself to the earth. Grounding from a physical standpoint, a scientific standpoint, actually reduces the positive electrons in your body, and it has a big anti-inflammatory effect. It physically reduces the blood levels of inflammatory molecules. There are perceivable benefits via scientific measurement of your body, lab results, EKG, EMGs, all those things that prove that earthing helps. And this is really something that is absolutely effortless. It's easy. Everybody can do it. Everyone has time to kick your flip-flops off. Even if you just walk from the house to the car or from the car to the house, if you can't go barefoot, get out there, get your hand on a live tree, take some deep breaths outside and shed inflammation in the simplest, most effortless, and most freest way possible. And guess what? If you do this one, you're automatically doing some of that movement that we discussed in that first point there. Now, I do want you to know, earthing and grounding are often used interchangeably. I generally think of earthing as more of getting outside and getting contact in the earth, and grounding more as something you can do anywhere, even if you can't get outside. The cool part is the effects, the measurable effects, are the same, which is just crazy, miraculous universe we live in, right? So grounding, on the other hand, and this is still, under earthing and grounding. So really you're kind of getting 8 ways. 8 ways to reduce your inflammation effortlessly. But grounding can occur a couple ways to reduce inflammation and reduce stressors too. So it's very simple. One of my favorite exercises to do with this is called a grounding cord. And you just sit straight up, feet flat on the floor. And remember, you can always layer energies further, amp it up, do this barefoot outside, visualize a cord coming down from your tailbone to the center of the earth and energetically grounding you to the earth's safe, warm, gentle energy. So you can stop there, or you can actually visualize or see the energy travel from the earth up the cord and into your body and your aura, and watch the stress and inflammation and physical inflammatory markers begin to heal. Another way to achieve this same effect is to start at the upper legs and run the palm of your hands, hovering, not touching, down the front, back, and inside and outside of your legs all the way to the ground. I find this works best while standing, but can also be done while sitting. And really, number 2, earthing and grounding is a great segue into the third way to effortlessly reduce inflammation, and that is energy work. Now, theoretically, a lot of what we've talked about today could fall into that energy work category, meditation and grounding and all of those things. After all, we are, as humans, just concentrated bundles of energy, right? So thank you, physics. But so we really work on ourselves. Any work on ourselves is really energy work at some level. But for this category, I want to touch on working with something called your energetic meridians, specifically a technique I call pulling. Now, this technique works best if you know where the inflammation is stemming from, or if you have specific acute inflammation and pain, or if you have a specific spot on your body that is inflamed. So all you do is place your left hand over that area of inflammation, and you can hover instead of touch if you like. I prefer hovering. Some people prefer touching. But place your left hand over the area of inflammation and face your right palm away from the body, okay? You're going to move your left hand in a counterclockwise motion to pull the inflammation out of the area. Now, if you are unable to pinpoint energetically where this inflammation is from, you can certainly reach out to a local qualified energy work practitioner to work with you for an in-person appointment, or you can reach out to me if you'd like for a distance appointment, or if you already have an energy worker that you like to work with, then you can certainly contact them and just sort of explain, and they'll know what's going on. Number 4, the fourth way you can effortlessly reduce inflammation is massage. Now, I hesitated to put this one on here because it takes effort to pay for a massage, but massage is really important for self-care, and it helps to reduce inflammation in the body overall. And, a lot of people are like, come on, Audrey, massage. And yes, and I am not a massage therapist. But seriously, it's science. If you need an official recommendation, I can write you a note, seriously. But studies show that a massage that lasts about 45 minutes actually lowers your levels of inflammation. Specifically, the pro-inflammatory cytokines that are linked to chronic inflammation. So that's super important there. I often have people tell me, well, I don't know where to go get a massage. And generally, I would say avoid the chains. Find yourself someone that is a qualified licensed massage therapist, and find someone that specializes in myofascial release. And generally, you'll have the best benefit from that. Now, the fifth one that we're going to talk about today, the fifth way to reduce inflammation, is meditation. And we've talked many, many times about the benefits of meditation, and that meditation goes a long way, just like earthing. It goes a long way to reduce inflammation in the body. There are even studies on meditation that demonstrate measurable impacts on brain circuits that improve health and reduce measurable, again, inflammation in the body. More importantly, recent studies show that meditation is more important to your health and wellness than just simple relaxation. If you take a look at the show notes in whatever podcast player you're listening to, you'll see a link to download my easy peasy guide. And y'all, it's so old. It's close to 9 years old now, I think, on using meditation to kick stress to the curb. It is tons of different ways to meditate, to reduce stress, to reduce inflammation. And it is particularly in mind for people who don't have time to meditate or don't know how to meditate. Or if you're someone who can't clear your mind, right? Or if you're not good at it, it takes away all the excuses and it makes it really, really easy. So just click into your app, whatever you're listening to, iTunes, Spotify, any of those things, and you will see right in there where you can download that information. Now, number 6 of my 7 favorite effortless ways to reduce inflammation is to use crystals, particularly hematite. I actually have 2 favorites for reducing inflammation. One is tried and true, has been my go-to for many, many years now. I have given away more hematite than imaginable, right? Hematite is very, very grounding. It's an iron oxide, and both its color and its frequency are extremely grounding for humans. You can place hematite near an area that has pain or that has acute inflammation, or if you have it, like the same with the siphoning, if you have an inflammation in a specific area like your knee, then it works really well for that. Alternatively, you can place it at the Earth Star chakra, which is about 6 inches below your feet. So you can leave it there while you sleep, while you're Netflixing on the couch. Another way is to carry it on your person so you can have it in your pocket or sit with it near your root chakra. Now, a newer sort of crystal prescription for inflammation is Aquamarine. I've recently been working with Aquamarine, and it packs a powerful punch for inflammation. It's a very cooling and soothing energy. And so, I like to layer the energy and the science and all of that to get the most and best practical outcomes. Well, Aquamarine sort of like is all of those things, right? Aquamarine is actually a barrel. And so if you want me to get all science geek on you, it's beryllium aluminum silicate. And the blue color in Aquamarine is from iron. So energetically, it lends itself to soothing, and then it has a lot of grounding with the iron. And so you can use this in like a soothing elixir tea, or you can use it topically, or you can wear it in jewelry, or simply carry it on your person or meditate with it. Now, at a molecular level, sort of the science behind why this works is because it has the same hexagonal structure at a molecular level that connects with us. Nature is hexagonal and is a preferred structure of nature. So think of things like honeycomb, right? It's also the molecular structure of carbon. And so when we align vibrationally with crystals from the hexagonal system, we are reducing the entropy and inflammation in our bodies as well as grounding. Now, the last one is probably the one you're waiting for, and that one is supplements, right? And just like the food we eat, just in the same way, I guess, as the foods we eat are super important in reducing inflammation, we can also help to combat existing and new inflammation by making sure we supplement the nutrients we aren't getting enough of. Now, supplement programs have to be a little bit different for everyone, but there are kind of some universals that go for just general helping reduction in inflammation. And those include vitamin D3 plus K2, omega-3s, and vitamin Cs. And you could even throw a probiotic in there. All of these come together to help calm your immune system naturally. Now, you can't out-supplement a bad diet, right? But you can help reduce some inflammation. It's not going to fix everything by using these supplements. Everyone always wants to know what brand to use. These supplements, by the way, are super important for both kids and adults. And if you will go to audreychristie.com/fullscript, I'll also link that in the show notes here. You will find my recommendations for all of it. So that about does it for this episode of the Root Cause Revolution podcast. As always, I am here. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the Women's Wellness Circle, which is our free private Facebook group, or you can reach out directly by going to audreychristie.com and sending me a message. You can also ask questions for the Ask Audrey episode at audreychristie.com/questions. So I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, friend. And remember that I am always rooting for you. See you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Root Cause Revolution podcast. Be sure and subscribe on your favorite podcast provider. Ratings and reviews are always appreciated.